Update. Am I the a-hole for kicking my brother and his family out after his son stole my engagement ring? Original post. The reason I, 26 male, know is because I literally caught him in my room going through my things. And it's on freaking camera. My nephew is 9 and has a habit of stealing things. They've gotten in trouble a few times at stores because he'd leave with something in his pockets. But of course, because he's a kid, they usually just say he forgot he had it. Even at school, my brother has told me they have had to come talk to the principal on a couple occasions. Doesn't seem like they've done anything to stop it. They had to come stay here with me because my brother lost his job, and they weren't gonna make it with all their bills, including rent. He's doing Uber right now while he searches for a job and they can move out. I didn't want to because of my nephew specifically, but family is family, I guess. A month ago, I finally bought an engagement ring for my girlfriend that I was planning on proposing to soon, but now I don't know. It's a $4,000 ring that I spent over a year saving up for. It's been hidden in my room under one of my drawers. One time, when I found him snooping in my room, I told my brother to control his damn kid, then got one of those cheap spy cams in my room just in case. Then last week, I noticed it was out of its box, and after checking the cam, it showed he was in there again when I wasn't home. My brother and his wife have yelled at him. He says he left it by the TV in the guest room, but it's not there. They looked through all their stuff and it is too. I know for a fact he's lying about not having it, because that's the same thing he said about one of my watches he took, then ended up finding it. By the second day, my brother tells me they can't find it at all, and I told him either they find the ring, or he repays me the $4,000 I spent on it. If not, they can't stay here anymore. My brother got really upset. He told me I know how their situation is right now. And yes, it's a tough spot, but I couldn't ignore the fact that his kid he can't parent took something extremely important to me that costed a lot of time and money. They were given a week to leave my house if they don't find a ring. They're having to stay at a cheap motel. But my brother won't stop begging to come back because what they're paying right now each night is coming directly out of their savings. He won't stop calling me heartless about letting something like this come between helping them out through a difficult time. And my nephew keeps saying he's sorry. It's just hard right now to want them around. Don't even know what to do about the ring. And every time I think about it, it just makes me so mad that it's hard to care about their situation. Does that make me an a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. They sold the ring. I think so too. At this point, why won't his nephew say where it went? The thing with kleptomaniacs is they often don't know what to do with the things they steal. He may have washed it down the sink, flushed it down the toilet, buried it in the garden, etc., just to hide it. It's not so much about having things, it's about taking them. It's highly unfortunate that he took something so important, and his parents definitely need to get him help, and should have done so already, which could have prevented this. Yeah, I hate to agree with this, but when I was the nephew's age, I was being mistreated at home and it came out in a weird phase of kleptomania. I didn't know what to do with the things I stole, so most of the time I threw them away out of fear. You probably did the same. Not stay home. File a police report and file a claim with your homeowner's insurance. I don't have homeowner's insurance. It's not a house. File a police report anyway, and if it gets pawned, the police will be able to track it back to you. Check out some pawn shops on your own. File a police report and take them to small claims. You have the proof on camera. Not the home. Hopefully not, but there is a possibility he was encouraged to do it and it was pawned. Nobody knew I got a ring from my girlfriend. It's been hidden in my room before they even came to live with me. It just seems odd that the ring is now gone. I know kids lose things because they put them in odd places. Just knowing your family is financially in trouble, although I don't know them personally, it wouldn't be inconceivable that they might have sold it. It's a possibility, but I also know my nephew's a liar and likely knows where it is but won't say anything. This isn't the first time something is stolen that he acts completely innocent about, until it's found somewhere he hid it. A Down 40 update. So many of you have asked non-stop for an update. Sorry it took me a while to log back on, but lots of stuff have been going on. Yes, I found a ring. It was a stressful day doing a deeper search in my house trying to think like my nephew, and looking in places where I think he'd hide something if he really didn't want it to be found. And the decision was if it really wasn't found and my brother wasn't able to get him to talk, or they wouldn't be able to pay back what I'm owed, then the police would get involved. He did beg me not to, but I told him then you better pray I find it or you come up with the money to pay me for it. Guess both our prayers worked because guess where I found it? In the freaking sink. The sink. And that's thanks to the comments that told me to look in those places. I don't know what I would have done otherwise. It was in the sink that was in their guest room. I'm glad you didn't just throw it away. You guys don't know how freaking relieved I was to find it. Took some work to remove the pit trap under the sink to get it out, but I was just so happy to find it. The same night my girlfriend, now fiancé, got back, I proposed to her and she said yes. After a nice romantic dinner, just the two of us at home. The plan was to wait, but after all this mess, I thought, screw it. I'm proposing ASAP before anything else happens. After my brother heard about me finding the ring, he thought this meant they could come back. I said no. He wanted to argue about this again. All I told him was he's lucky I haven't gone to the cops since there were already video evidence of his son taking the ring. And there's no way I'm letting them back in when my nephew wouldn't even say what he did with the ring. I talked with my nephew myself after I found a ring, but he just said he didn't want to tell anyone because then I'd be mad at him for hiding it. Honestly, I just don't have the energy for them anymore. His problem is their problem, and hopefully they get him help before it's too late. Only thing important to me is my fiancé and I starting our lives and planning our wedding. Thank you guys for your help. Seriously, you guys were my lifesavers. Added to add, I just received this news after already submitting my post for approval and just wanted to add because I'm so happy. But girlfriend also informed me she's pregnant. She found out while she was on her trip and was waiting for a good time to tell me. Not related to the post, but I don't care. I'm gonna be a dad. The fact that the kid refused to tell you where it was and his parents refused to make him means you are absolutely in the right and would be crazy to let them back in. Little Brad is going to end up in prison if his parents don't wake up. Exactly. If he's stealing, lying, and manipulating people to this level at 9 and his parents do nothing but enable him, imagine where he's going to be at 19. I had to read that number twice because wow, this is so worrying. Kid needs therapy. Congratulations 3 times over. You found a ring. She said yes, you're going to be a father. P.S. It's obvious you'll be a better father to your child than your brother is to his. Many more moments of happiness for you and your growing family. You're going to be a father. That line right there gives me chills every time I read it. Well, whatever happens, I hope I can be the kind of dad my kid will need me to be for them. It wasn't in the sink. It was in the drain pipe. OMG. I'm so happy for you that you found a ring and got your brother's family out. Amazing update. Thank goodness it didn't flush down the toilet. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for ruining my daughter's wedding? This happened a few months ago, but the situation is still tense. So although I don't think to be in the fault, figured I would ask for opinions. Early last year, my 52 daughter, then 25-26 at the wedding, informally announced to me her engagement to a nice man, 27. I really have nothing bad to say about him. An educated, respectful, and kind young man. I reacted pretty bad, I must admit, because she is my baby. She's too young for this. She got pretty upset at my reaction because she claimed that she graduated college and works full-time, as did her boyfriend, and she hoped that once in my life I would just be happy for her and respect her choices, trusting that she is responsible enough to be considered an adult. At any rate, she kept the engagement, but the wedding talks immediately ceased and no one in our family was informed, except for her brother. In the fall of last year, she contacted me again, she lives away, to tell me that she and her boyfriend decided to move forward and wanted to know how I felt about that, because this is something they thought over and wanted to do. I got mad again, because she's still my baby, and there was no rush, as I told her she could have waited another 4 years or so and get a nice job first. She was pissed off, and reminded me that she works in a nice place doing what she studied for already. Okay, she is a full-time employee, not an intern, but she doesn't get paid much. And she remarked that she intends to keep moving with her career with time. She isn't planning on kids right away. We discussed, and as my son told me, I have been passive-aggressive with her. But in the end, she literally told me, "Mom, F off." which is disrespectful and a proof of how immature she is. This time, she decided to move forward, inform the family, and set a date. But in the following weeks, she wasn't happy until she decided to call off the reception and eloped with just her brother and her boyfriend's brother. The man was okay with this because he lost his parents as a child, and he and his brother grew up in an orphanage. She got married at the beginning of the year, and I got mad because she called off the reception to make an offense to me, to humiliate me in front of our family. While my daughter claims that since her own mother couldn't be happy for her, I can't fake, I wasn't. There was no point in going together dress shopping, cake shopping, and stuff together, and then celebrating at the wedding. It would have been fake, and the mere thought made her sick to her stomach. She's really bitter that she couldn't have her big day because of me. That's what she's saying, and says that there is nothing more I can do to make it right, which I don't think I should. She has been disrespectful and childish since day one. All my family thinks I'm right, except for my son, which sided with his sister since the first announcement. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I just don't want her to make the same mistakes I did. Getting my kids so young truly ruined my life. She can become important someday. She's too intelligent to be wasted preparing baby food. She says she won't have kids for now, but that's literally what I said. Now for the comments. You're the a-hole. In what universe are you not the a-hole? You took a joyous occasion away from a loved one by making it all about yourself. It doesn't even sound like you have a reason to be so vile. Perhaps you just couldn't stand the thought of her being happy. Either way, I'm glad you still got married. And you need to get over yourself before you ruin your relationship with her forever. She's too young, whines the woman who was pregnant by that age. This whole post sounds like Opie resents having her own kids and is trying to live vicariously through her daughter. You're the a-hole. Edit. Ding ding ding. And Opie still seems to think that what she wants for her daughter is more important than what her daughter wants for herself. She does resent her kids. She said in her Reddit that having her children young ruined her life. How much do you bet that Opie's kids grew up hearing about how much Opie wished she hadn't had her kids? Opie, you're incredibly selfish and self-involved. You're 100% the a-hole. You're the a-hole. Big time. I'm curious about Opie's feelings that her daughter is her baby and too young to get married. In first glance, those words would indicate caring about her daughter, right? But actually, looking at the situation, to Opie's daughter is only supposed to exist as an accessory to her. Only Opie's feelings about her daughter are important, but not her daughter's actual life. Opie, good parents actually want their children to become independent and succeed. I don't think the word baby indicates caring at all in this context. It indicates a desire for control. If the daughter is a baby, she is too young to make her own decisions. She is a 26-year-old woman, not a baby. Of course, I agree with you here. You're the a-hole. Now, for the last story. Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my fiancé and taking my heels off at our engagement party? My fiancé, male 31, and I, female 26, got engaged several days ago. This is relevant. He's tall and I'm in the 5s category. Pretty small compared to him and his family. He asked that I wear heels at our engagement party since there was going to be photos. Although I wasn't comfortable, not a fan either, with high heels, I decided to wear them just for his sake since he begged and pleaded. And also since he promised I would be sitting most of the time. But at the party, he had me stand for hours to welcome the guests with him. There were like 20 guests. I got so tired of standing and my feet and legs were on fire. I asked if I could sit. But his mom said I'm the fiancé and should stand next to my partner, not just sit like the party had nothing to do with me. I told my fiancé again that I was in so much pain, but he said, suck it up, it's almost over. I had enough of it. I took my heels off and let my feet and legs cool off. He and his mom looked at me in utter confusion. Several of his family and guests saw me in barefoot as well. He freaked out asking what I was doing. His mom asked that I put my heels on, but I said my feet were done. But I couldn't do it anymore. My fiancé begged me, but I stood there till it was over like he wanted. The minute I got in the car, he flipped out, saying I embarrassed him in front of family and friends by standing there barefoot and refusing to put my heels back on even after his mom repeatedly asked. I reminded him that he said I wouldn't be standing, but turns out it wasn't true. He argued that for someone with a height like mine, then I should wear heels more often, and said should have sucked it up for his sake. He went upstairs and turned his phone off and refused to speak to me. I had no intentions of embarrassing him, and I do feel I should have sucked it up. But I think that he wasn't truthful about how long I was expected to stand. Am I the a-hole? Edited to add, he doesn't usually care if I wear high heels, and said I should start considering wearing them from now on out, because most women wear heels at big occasions like weddings and engagement parties. Not the a-hole. Please don't marry this man. That is some serious controlling behavior. I was just typing this. Honestly, this is way bigger of a problem than just what happened at a party. Not the a-hole. And probably worth rethinking an engagement with a man who has so little concern for your well-being that he will give you the silent treatment for wanting to not be in pain. Precisely. High heels are not comfortable shoes. Wearing them for extended periods of time can cause blisters, leg pain, etc. I find it weird he was obsessed with the need for Opie to wear heels because she's short. Her fiancé should want her to feel comfortable. She could have worn lower heels, or even some nice flats. It's definitely not a good sign that he cares more about appearances than her actual comfort. Same goes for his mother. Why would he choose a short partner if he wasn't comfortable having a short partner? So, my fiancé is a full foot taller than me and I wear heels every day. However, for special occasions, I don't always choose the most comfortable pair. He took me on an incredible trip for my birthday and was so upset that I wore heels that made my toes, ankles, and top of my feet bleed and blister. He said he didn't understand why I did that to myself, and that me being in pain was ruining the trip. I can't even imagine being with someone who didn't care about my physical well-being. That's just so bare minimum. So let's just ring this up, shall we? Your fiancé is so comfortable with your height, he freaks if you're seen in public at your natural height. Your fiancé thinks he's been embarrassed in front of his family and friends if you take your shoes off. Your fiancé thinks that the fact that his mom asks is more important than the fact that you are in pain. Your fiancé describes you in terms like, with a height like yours, as if you're defective. Your fiancé goes off and sulks and refuses to speak to you over this. Did I miss anything? Not the a-hole.